For my book presentation this week, I chose to reread my favorite book of the Fablehaven series, which is titled Grip of the Shadow Plague. It is the third book in the series, and it is written by Brandon Mole and published by the Aladdin Paperbacks Company in 2008. So modern fantasy typically takes mythical creatures such as gods, goddesses, and other strange creatures like centaurs and satyrs and golems, things like that, and puts them in a modern day setting. So what Brandon Mole was able to do in Fablehaven is he took all those different mythical creatures and he put them in a modern day setting, which is an enchanted animal preserve in modern day, and he talks about how they interact, challenges they come across, and the plot is just so deep and there's so many twists and turns, which we'll get to talk about later. But first, just what got me interested in reading the Fablehaven series was actually my husband. He had read the entire series and told me I should read it, and so I did, and I fell in love. What made me fall in love is just the plot. So there's 4 books in the series. Book after book, you just fall deeper and deeper into the plot. You get deeper into it. There are so many unforeseen changes, twists, and turns that are really unpredictable that happens in these book series. And it's really hard to put these books down because you get started in a book and immediately, chapter 1, things start happening. Things just take off immediately and they don't stop until the end of the book. And then at the end of the book, you want to pick up the next book and keep reading. Even after the 4th book, which is the last one in the series, I wanted to keep reading. I was so sad the series ended. I compared it, my love for Harry Potter is pretty strong. I compared this to Harry Potter because Brandon Mole just did a wonderful job. He uses an extensive vocabulary. Description is amazing. It's the best book ever. So what this book is about, Fablehaven, as I've kind of already mentioned, is a type of animal preserve. So it's kind of like a zoo. But it's special because it's a magical being preserve. It's filled with a variety of these mythical creatures, evil witches, self-absorbed fairies, playful satyrs like stuck-up centaurs, and a goofy golem named Hugo, which he is adorable. There's many, many more creatures that it would just take way too much time to identify everyone, so you'll just have to read it and see all the creatures involved. So in order for a human being to see these creatures, you have to drink special milk that comes from a special cow named Viola. She is about 5 stories tall and she keeps growing and growing. What this milk does is, first you have to believe in the magical creatures, that they could exist, and then once you drink the milk, it helps you see these magical creatures that are everywhere. Without drinking the milk, fairies looks like butterflies, satyrs look like goats, and then once you drink the milk, you can see the butterflies were the fairies, the goats were the satyrs, and things like that. It's really interesting. And so there's 2 main characters in this book, brother and sister duo, Kendra and Seth Sorensen. Specifically in this 3rd book, so many things have happened by the 3rd book. Kendra has been kissed by fairies. She is now fairy kind. So Kendra was just a normal human girl, like trying to go through middle school, and now she has all these magical powers that she has to deal with. And Fablehaven has been infected with a shadow plague. So what the shadow plague is, turns good creatures evil. To be infected with the shadow plague is an infected creature has to bite another creature, and once another creature is bitten, they get deformed, they turn black, they turn crazy. It is a really ugly process and it's frightening, and Fablehaven is starting to crumble from within. So Kendra, Seth, and their grandparents, who are the keepers of Fablehaven, are suspicious of who unleashed this curse on Fablehaven. They believe it's the Sphinx, and the Sphinx is supposed to have all the answers. He's supposed to be good and all-knowing, but they believe he might have an ulterior motive. And so it talks about trying to figure out if he's good or bad. And then eventually, later on in the story, Kendra and several Knights of the Dawn go and journey to a different magical preserve in Arizona called Lost Mesa. And there they are just looking for answers about the Sphinx. There they battle dragons, they feed zombies, they conquer rain dancers. It is crazy the things that they do at Lost Mesa. Disaster strikes, bad things happen at Lost Mesa, and really they find no answers there. When they're off in Arizona, back at Fablehaven, things are crumbling. More and more creatures are being infected with this shadow plague disease, and it talks about what Seth and his grandparents are trying to do at home to keep the shadow plague at bay, while Kendra's off in Arizona trying to find answers. And it's really suspenseful. And so, just because you never know, there's like parts of the twists are you don't know who's good, you don't know who's bad, really until you read the final book. The final book has all the answers. And so that's really all that goes on in this last book, plus so many more. There's so many elements to this book. You just need to read it for yourself to figure out how it ends and to put all the pieces together. So thank you for watching my presentation today and taking the time to do that. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you feel inclined to read the whole series now, because the whole series is amazing. Thank you so much.